what we're talking about with comedians, right?
Yeah.
You know, but we should have that same creative license as any other artist.
But at the same time, like the punk rocker in me, like my whole thing is that, like, if we're all fucking equal, why shouldn't we be able to say the same thing? So, like, for example, like, okay, every now and then I go through, like, these phases. For the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been listening to nothing but, like, ignorant-ass, like, trap and drill music. Like, rhyming nigga with nigga. You know, and, like, you listen to, like, a song, like, by, like, Chief Keef. And, you know, he's like, bang, 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 fuck your mama, nigga. Like this. Yeah, and it's, you know, you're singing along to it. But then if I rolled up and I have my windows down, I'm singing along with Chief Keef, and, you know, I rolled up to Mike here, 9 times out of 10, I'd probably be like,
turn it down.
Really? I don't. You know,
well, no, because, like, dude, for example, like, the fellow who we were talking about before, like, it was literally just in casual conversation, I was quoting a song, and he was like, you don't say that. And I'm just like, but why?
Yeah, that's... Nobody
like,
should
if we're
you
all,
never
like,
hear
equal
those.
fucking
Right.
people, and we all want to be looked at as equals, like, why is it that I can't, like, as long as there isn't hatred in my heart, or my tone, or in my delivery, why shouldn't I be able to, converse with you the way that you would converse
that's
with
what
somebody else?
Ash outside of the milk bar, literally, you know, on
But I
the
know
street
that,
in the
like,
milk bar.
me saying that as a fucking full-blooded Irish white kid just sounds fucking awful. You know what I mean?
It
And
doesn't
I
sound
know
awful,
that.
though, because it's just, we're here, Mike is agreeing with us. It's all about intent, right?
Yeah,
you know, we were speaking yesterday outside Terry Dorsey's...
I love how we're all kind of, like, looking at you for permission.
I'm glad he switched on that side in case he throws one of those right hooks.
You got a token black guy on the podcast.
No, I said that once. I'll never have a token black guy in my pockets. That's the whole thing. It's about intent. I was literally raised, you know, my mother...
another room I was asking.
You know,
was Terry's room.
Terry's? No, whatever. But, no, it's awesome. Wednesday nights at Charlie L.
Mountain Charlie's.
Yeah, Mountain Charlie's,
Status, California.
But anyway, shout out to Jennifer, the bartender there.
Please.
Anyway,
That's
get
one
back
of the main reasons
so,
why I was asked not to come back.
Ash,
I fucking laid into this girl bad.
Oh,
She looked like the girl from Game of Thrones.
she does.
So I kept calling her Khaleesi.
Khaleesi.
And I kept asking, I was like, what's your boyfriend like? Like, backwards cap, flat bill, pecs bigger than my face? Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, just give it a shit. She was very beautiful. I mean, a very beautiful woman, but...
Yeah, she was.
I don't get kicked.
No, that's all right. So, but getting back to that, it's like, it's about intent, right? And especially when we're on stage, we should have the license to say whatever and anything we want. And I think for the most part, comics, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, Korean, Japanese, whatever, they understand that. But to get scalded, basically, by...
Scalded? You getting burned?
No,
Scalded?
from Ash Fisher, you know, who's telling me, I cannot say it. She basically saw on the sidewalk, no, you can't say it. I go, no, I can say whatever I want. And there was 2 doormen, you know, from the milk bar standing right there. They're both black, both African Americans. And she looks to them. I go, that's more fucking racist. What you just did is more racist than I ever would do. Because we're talking about the N-word, and I'm telling you that I will say it because I know my intent on saying it. And she turns around and looks to them. So... basically, that word, she just associated the 2 guys standing at the door.
That's really funny.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But you as a comic, you should never, ever, you know, tell another comic, you know, what they can and what they cannot say. I told her, I'll say whatever I want. It's all about consequences, right? And that's why I forgot the guys who were standing there, but the guys working the door at Milk Bar. Because she turned to them and she goes, guys, what do you think? Can he say it? And they're like, well, you know, one I think was like, you can do whatever you want. The other one was like, no, you can't say it. And I'm like, I can say whatever I want. It's about consequences, right? Mm-hmm. And basically, they're like, yeah, you know, you either get punched in the face, you don't get booked at the club. And again, I've told people this. I'm not basing my fucking comedy around it. I grew up around hip-hop. Mm-hmm. You know, it came out of me as like a hip-hop
Especially
song.
From Brooklyn, man.
You know, I'm not from Brooklyn.
Or
I'm from
wait, Long Island.
But yeah, no, it's not, you know, it's about intent, you know. It's a difference between someone who's racist and someone who just basically says what's on their mind. Racism is when you stop somebody from achieving a goal, you hold them back due to race, you know, or gender. That's racism, or, you know, but, you know, people want to just grab a hold of anything you say and then label you as a certain racist, homophobe, whatever. But anyway, I don't think any comic should tell another comic what to say, but you give suggestions. But she was straight up, oh, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty fucking
I'm kind of, not so much struggling. I'm like coming to terms with that too a little bit because like I have, I'm in activism too, and that whole sphere. Like I've told porn jokes at a hunger strike, and it's like room full of feminists. Terrible.
I love that shit though.
You know what I'm saying? It was
Get 'em.
like scary scenarios just because like everybody is. I'm saying like everybody doesn't understand like what comedy necessarily is, and it's like my parents, my dad supports me telling jokes, but my mom is like devout Christian, super Christian, never heard me tell a joke, and it's like fucking with my mind all the time. I'm just like, am I doing the right thing or whatever? And like, I'm here right now and shit, but like. Yeah, and I'm fucking 21. I don't even know if this is what I even want to do for the rest of my life.
My mom supports me. She tells her friends that her son is a comedian, but she's never watched my act.
See?
And I tell her, you don't want to watch my act.
Yeah.
And she goes, okay. Because she knows, and like my father, he's gone, but he was a devout atheist, but I was raised Irish Catholic, and my mom is very devout. And like she's even, I hope you don't talk about religion in your act.
You definitely do. You were raised like, you definitely do talk about it.
I'm like, no, I don't. But, yeah.
I think that's even a little something different where, like, people close to you maybe are a little offended by what you say. That's different than someone who doesn't know you at all, who's not even really offended by what you say, but they just don't want you to fucking say it.
Well, in their mind, like...
They're trying, they're just being fucking, super nannies. They want to fucking police the world.
Well, in their mind, like, you have to look at it
Go
from,
fuck yourself.
like, the actual, like religious facet in the sense that, like, so there's blasphemy, and essentially, like, if you're a comic and you're blasphemizing on stage, that's like the ultimate form of blasphemy. Like, you're not just blasphemizing, but you're doing it from a hilltop, you know what I mean? Like, you're literally shouting out blasphemous shit, So that's, like, literally to them, like, you're not just, going like, God damn. Like, under your breath, like, you might as well be standing in front of thousands of people with a fucking megaphone, being like, Christ is dead and good, or, like, whatever. And so from that aspect, I can get it. And then, like, at the same time, like, it's my mother, there's multiple times where it's just like, well, if you ever want to see your dad in heaven again, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, dad's not in heaven, he's in the fucking ground, so... And he's not. He's in a fucking urn on my fucking, next to my records, That's where Dad is, fucking. And that was the thing about him. Like, I talk about it in my act, and it's funny because from a certain angle we could see the Transamerica building from here, but that's kind of where I got my my sense of humor from was, my old man, just being from, an Irish family from, like, back east. Like, we just had a really black sense of humor, And like, as I said, my dad isn't here anymore, and I'll never forget when I found out that he was sick. I was living in New York at the time, and I hadn't heard from my mom in a couple of weeks, and that was fucking weird, because she's always calling. And when she didn't, I kept calling the house, couldn't get a hold of anybody, finally got a hold of my brother, and I was like, what's going on? He's like, we think Dad might be sick, we think it might be cancer, and I'm like, I'm coming home right now. And he's like, no, like, let us figure out what's going on. I was like, no, I'm coming home right now. Jumped on a plane, came right back. I was at Stanford Hospital in Palo Alto. And we were all sitting in the room. My dad's sitting in the bed. He looks just like him, sitting up, joking, cracking. And that was him. Like, my dad... Fucking, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a rock star before I started doing comedy, like 5 years ago. But fucking his whole thing was, he would sit me down, make me listen to Pryor, Carlin, Cheech Chong, Robin Williams, the whole thing. Like, I grew up, a student of comedy, and he just had a black sense of humor. And so a doctor comes in and he says, sir, you have stage 4 pancreatic cancer, among other things. You've been walking around. You had a heart attack like 2 years ago. Did you know that? Yeah, that was like your 5th heart attack. You've been walking around for like 2 years. After that, you got like this shit going on. Like, we don't even know how you're like sitting here right now. Like, you're a fucking like medical anomaly right now. Like, we fucking want to give you we want to test you because we don't even understand how you're breathing right now. Like, fucking, you're done. We're giving you 6 months maybe. We don't even know how you're still standing here right now. And like the room gets real quiet. My mom looks to the ground, starts like tearing up, and like me and my brother are just like solemn. And my dad, without missing a fucking beat, dude, he goes, "Fuck it. Put me in my nicest suit, fill my pockets up with candy, and push me off the Transamerica building. I'll be the most fucked up pinata you've ever seen." And that was just the kind of family we were, dude. It was like when shit got, rough or dark or like whatever or uncomfortable in any way, we just crack jokes. And that's just who I am. And fucking, like, not everyone's like that, dude. And, like, if you're in a sensitive situation, whether it's emotional or race-related or this or that or the other thing, like, people are so sensitive to, like, but that's my defense mechanism, Like, for me to deal with shit, I have to make light of it, or else me as a person, I'm just now starting to like finally like, dude, I've been battling like depression and suicidal thoughts and shit like my entire life, and like I single-handedly give stand-up like credit for saving my fucking life. Like it's given me like a whole different outlook on life. I look at things a lot more objectively now, a lot more black and white, and I feel like that's why I'm comfortable saying shit like that, because I feel as though everyone should be comfortable saying shit like that, you know what I mean? Like, there should be no lines, there should be no boundaries, because doing that, you're only hindering yourself and the connection that you can have with other people. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling, man.
No, it's cool.
No, I agree, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think that in terms of, like, words, like, it doesn't matter, like, what, you know, what side you in, what thing you represent. I just don't feel like if you are offended by a comedian talking, like, you're not saving the world. Like, if you're, like, just hypothetical, if you're a feminist and you get at me for saying something that might offend you, you yelling at a comic isn't making the world a better place at all. You're yelling at somebody who's there to entertain you. You know what I mean? And I feel like even with the word nigga and like other words that have bad connotations, so like even like cultural appropriation, people are getting mad from what people wear and shit now. It's like if somebody's life isn't taken, like I don't see the big deal about it. Like if you wearing a daishiki killed me somehow, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna protest. You know what I mean? But you wearing a daishiki or saying the word nigga, I'm like, you know, I might get upset for a second, but I'm not gonna let it fuck up my day. I'm not gonna be like, hey, you're an asshole for saying it in a laughing manner. You know what I mean? It's like
one of my favorite comedians. For some reason I get lumped. Well, I mean I know why I get lumped in with him a lot, but fucking he's one of my favorites. Kyle Kinane. I forget what special it was. It wasn't his first one because he wasn't touring yet. So it was either Whiskey Icarus or I liked his old stuff better. I'm gonna go ahead and say Whiskey Icarus. Kyle, if you're listening, which you're probably not because I'm a piece of shit. I'm sorry. But he basically tells his story about how people were hooking up next to him on a plane and how he was mad. But then after a while he started thinking about it. He's like, why am I mad? Like, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I'm here to either assist or get out of the way. I'm not here to play goalie in this world. I'm not here to play goalie in this life. As long as you're not harming anybody, and they were doing the opposite. I'm here to either assist or get out of the way. I'm not playing goalie. And I fucking love that, like, just, like, frame of thought. Like, unless someone, like, as you said, unless someone's being directly harmed by your actions, then, like, who gives a shit?
Especially when it comes from a place of entertainment.
Absolutely.
I mean, if all three of us were out on the street and some, you know...
And I'm just screaming hateful shit at people.
That's different, man. It's really fucking different. Even, like, if we're just hanging out, we're playing basketball, we're doing whatever, and I'm throwing the N-word around, you have the right to punch me in the face because of what your history for black Americans, their history, that word comes from a shitty fucking place. So... I'm not, as a white guy, I'm not the guy who's going to be throwing it around, you know, just because I heard it in a rap song or whatever. But if it does organically just come out, you know, I feel then, you know, especially the way it comes out, you know, and it's about intent. If it's in an entertaining way, nobody should say anything. If you're another comic, you should not get banned from a place just because, you know, you said it on the stage. And it's a selective ban, too, because, you know, I've seen other white comics say that word on stage there in a shitty way. You know, it's like I could tell, you know, if it's a shitty way or it's not. And, you know, they don't get banned. So it's just a selective way. I rubbed somebody the wrong way, so they're using that as an excuse to ban me, which is fine. Like I said, there's consequences, and that's one I have to deal with.
It makes me feel really good that you've been banned, and I haven't necessarily been banned. I've just been told to sit down, and you're as nice as you are, so something... the bio on like my Instagram and my Facebook is comedian period writer period asshole. Like I completely embrace the fact that I'm not for everybody. But, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm taking a little bit of joy out of your pain, knowing that somebody as nice and approachable as you are. You know, it's getting shit.
Oh, no, thanks. No, I
makes me feel a little bit better about myself.
I could be an asshole for sure. It's like I said, it's about, because I do say what's on my mind, but I do try to also be a genuinely nice guy. It's just who I am. But I'm not for everybody either, you know. But you know, what are you going to do? I'm disappointed that, you know, some comics, and especially a good comic, an experienced comic, would tell somebody what they cannot say. And then, you know, Bacon, the network, you know, they come jumping, you know, what, it's like they want, it's just control freaks, you know, it's like this control thing, where you, like I said, it's not even like you fucking care, it's you just want to be able to, it's like somebody posts something, I would never jump on a post and say, you can't say that, or why'd you say that, you know, it's like, first of all, why are you even commenting?
With that, I look at it the way
just
that
pass it by. If you don't like it, just fucking pass it by.
The thing with that is I look at that the way that I look at a lot of anger with people is, you're not mad about this.
That's what I'm saying.
There's something going on in you don't have control over your own fucking life, so you feel like you need to have control over others.
Exactly.
Mind your business and fucking get control over your shit.